Hey guys, welcome back to For StarCraft 2 Strategy. Today we're going to be taking a look at a Zerg strategy. The strategy we're looking at today is the Evolution Chamber Baneling Bust. Now, the Zerg player in this strategy replay is Spore, and our Terran opponent is QWWS. So again, we're going to be taking a look at the Evolution Chamber Baneling Bust. This is quite literally the evolution of the Baneling Bust. How I love cheesy jokes. So basically, the idea behind this strategy, or what this entails, is getting an evolution chamber right behind your opponent's frontal wall, your Terran opponent's frontal wall, preventing them from building structures behind it to ward off a Baneling Bust. Now basically, Baneling Bust was a very popular Zerg vs Terran strategy for quite some time, until Terran players started to realize that they could stop this strategy by building additional structures behind their frontal wall, and thus nullifying the initial bust. And then after that point, they could push out with more units, and because we've been concentrating on these Banelings and sacrificing them, we would be behind in army, basically. But what we're going to be doing here in going for this evolution chamber Baneling Bust is, again, building an evolution chamber behind that frontal wall, preventing them from building that secondary wall, and then busting through with Banelings and Speedlings. Now, how are we going to be doing this? It's quite simple. Essentially, what we're going to be doing is dropping a hatchery very quickly, only momentarily, right behind that frontal wall. Then canceling that hatchery, just so that we have enough creep on the ground to drop an evolution chamber. We're going to put this evolution chamber right here, and since there is no longer creep on the ground, the evolution chamber over time is slowly going to die. And once it eventually does die, we're going to have Broodlings. Now we can use those Broodlings to do one of two things. We can either attack his buildings, or we can use it to attack his army, because Broodlings do so much damage. They're just incredibly powerful, especially when used in a strategy such as this. Now taking a look at the timing here, as far as what we're going for build order, we're starting off with a 14 extractor and then following it up with a 16 spawning pool. Now the reason we are having this slightly delayed extractor and spawning pool is because we do need those extra minerals to, again, first drop that hatchery and then follow it up with an evolution chamber. So again, the basically how this is going to work is twofold. It's going to work just like a regular Baneling Bust works, in the sense that we're using our Banelings to break through this frontal structure and then running Speedlings and Banelings into his base. But the second part of it is the blockade of his secondary wall by placing this evolution chamber here. Obviously, he cannot place another building right here. It's impossible. His only choice is to kill it, but if he kills it, we're going to have Broodlings that we can use to either attack his buildings or attack his army. And again, Broodlings do a lot of damage. So it's twofold. It's the effectiveness of a Baneling Bust as it is, coupled with us stopping this wall off and using those Broodlings. It's a very effective strategy if implemented properly. So as you can see here, we do have this Queen coming in production. We are also researching the Metabolic Boost. Now that Metabolic Boost we started researching at 16 supply, as well as that Queen that started coming at 16 supply. Now once we get to 22 supply, we are again going to be dropping a Baneling's Nest. Of course, we do need Banelings to produce this Baneling Bust strategy. So there you go, you see that Baneling's Nest. Metabolic Boost is about halfway done. And yeah, now that we have this placement here, he's not going to be able to back up any additional buildings from this frontal wall. And we can easily bust through this location right here with our Banelings. And that's why this is going to be effective. Stopping him from preventing our Baneling Bust is essentially the idea and what we're going to be doing. So taking a look back at the base here, the Baneling Nest is just about finished building, and we do have some Speedlings rallied outside of his base. Well, regular Zerglings, they're going to be Speedlings shortly. Speedlings research just about coming in now. Using the Queen Spawn Larva, of course, we want to make sure we keep that larva up so we can get as many Zerglings out as possible. Basically, at this point, you want to use all of your larva to produce Zerglings. Now taking a look back outside of his base, here you go, we see precisely what's going on. That's an additional benefit to going for this evolution chamber in his base, is that you're going to have full vision of anywhere around the evolution chamber. Now it's at this point that these Banelings are going to come, and these Broodlings are going to come into play. You're going to see they're about to pop out. We start off by attacking his building, but when he tries to engage, we decide to move towards his units to try to fend them off. And as you can see here, these Broodlings, they attack super fast with 4 damage a hit. We push back his army here, and then we're able to successfully bust through the front of his gate. He's moving up all of his workers. We're able to pop a Baneling right in between, killing many of them. Now he does end up fending off this attack, just barely, but he loses nearly all of his workers in the meantime. We're going to take a look here. As you can see, he's very low on SCVs right now, only has a few units, and as long as we maintain our pressure and maintain production of Zerglings and Banelings, this is going to be a very successful strategy. So at at the moment, a lot of times when you do this particular strategy, that initial bust that you just saw will be enough to take them out. It obviously, as we saw, significantly damaged him. We did not fully take him out at that point, so you don't want to, don't be too hasty. Don't run in immediately. What you want to do is create additional banelings outside of his base, get some more speedlings there as well, and then once you have sufficient force, go ahead and move in. Again, you do know that he's going to be very, very far behind if he loses as many workers as this Terran opponent did in this particular strategy replay. Now we're also creating an additional hatchery. We're going to be using this to try to get additional larvae, so we can create additional Zerglings and again keep that pressure up. Another option that you would of course have is to move down into your natural expansion at that point. This will allow you to get an economic advantage after doing such a devastating attack as we saw initially. So moving in again with these speedlings and banelings, at this point it's pretty much game over. It's just a matter of mopping up what units he has left. Again, he lacks so much, and he just was damaged so much. He lacks the economy that he needs to be able to fend off this attack, and he's basically done nothing to us thus far as well. So we're sitting in a pretty good spot here. Again, it's just a matter of rallying additional backup units to his base and mopping up what he has left. So yeah, guys, again, this has been the Evolution Chamber Baneling Bust. We're going to go over really quickly the build order. So we started off, we sent out a really early drone scout. Of course, you want to do that. Probably around 9 supply or so. Go ahead and send out a drone scout. And you're going to try to delay the building of this frontal wall as much as possible and also attack those SCVs that are trying to build those units. Basically, just be a pain in the butt and doing a lot of harass. And then we're going to go ahead and drop the Extractor at 14 and the spawning pool at 16. Again, those are delayed from a normal Zerg opening because we do need those extra minerals to drop that evolution chamber. Now right after you start building your spawning pool, that's when at your next 300 minerals you're going to drop that hatchery, cancel it quickly, and then start building that evolution chamber in a position that is going to stop him from building an additional wall behind his frontal wall. Then at 16 we're also getting a queen. We're going to be researching the Metabolic Boost at 16 as well, and then at 22 supply getting that Baneling's Nest. So yeah, guys, again, this has been for StarCraft 2 strategy. If you guys like our videos and you like what you see, please do go ahead and subscribe to our channel. Keep watching and keep owning, guys. There's no other way. Unless he has like infinite resources, he's going to be behind. That's just how it works. Now, we instead have been producing units, and because of this forge, he didn't get that cybernetics core quite up as fast, and he's not going to have as many stalkers as a result. So we're pushing forward against not many stalkers, in fact, none at all.